Hello everybody! Today we're going to unpack, take a close-up look and test the Fancysweety OTG micro SD card reader. So let's go ahead and open up the packet. So inside this packet is the Fancysweety OTG micro SD card reader. Let's go ahead and of course open up the packet and removing the OTG micro SD card reader by Fancysweety. So as you can see, just resting the micro SD card reader in the palm of my hand, giving you some idea of the size and scale of this stick OTG micro SD card reader. So it does have a plastic construction, and it is very light in weight, and of course very compact as well. So taking a look around the sides of this OTG micro SD card reader, you can see that it does have a USB port there, as well as a micro SD card slot. And there are connectors on both ends, which are capped with a clear plastic. And just giving you a much closer up look and hoping for the camcorder to achieve focus right there. And giving you some better angles at this Fancysweety OTG micro SD card reader. So right there. So as you can see, very compact and slim with the two ports there, as well as two connectors on either ends of this Fancysweety OTG micro SD card reader. Okay, so let's pop off the protective clear plastic cap on one end. You can see there is a Type A USB connector. I'm just going to set that cap down on the tabletop and hopefully giving you a good look here. And there is a micro SD connector as well on the inside. And if we slide it out, as you can see, right there, it does extend with a micro USB connector. So very, very fancy right there, being a USB Type A and with an integrated micro SD, I beg your pardon, micro USB connector right there. So USB Type A, as well as, let's see if I can pop this in. So just push that down and slide it back in. Okay, so giving you a much closer look now. USB Type A, it works as well as a micro USB connector as well. So dual functionality, dual type connectivity with that integrated micro USB connector that slides or retracts and extends out. So simply pushing it down and sliding that micro USB connector right there. So very, very fancy And on the opposite end, let's remove that cap and setting that cap down as well on the right hand side of the frame this time around. And over here we have a USB-C connector, so USB Type C, giving you a look around it as well. So right there, so you can see that the ends or connectors are clearly labeled on the main body of this Fancysweety OTG micro SD card reader. So giving you a look there, USB-C or USB Type C, and then the USB Type A with a micro USB extension right there. So very, very fancy. Of course, you need to push that blue little catch there and sliding that back in to retract the micro USB connector to make it into a USB Type A connector right there. So very, very neat, very fancy with that simplicity right there. So of course you need to make sure that you push it down and slide it out, not too difficult at all. And right there giving you a side profile look to this Fancysweety OTG micro SD card reader. So once again, now this time giving you a complete view with the caps off and the connectors showing. So in this view, there we go, we have a nice clear look. At the connectors as well as the ports. Okay, so now all we need to do is to test it out. So just giving you one more look, and this time with the caps off and the micro USB end extended. Okay, so over here I have a Sony Xperia XZ3 Android smartphone, which I've unboxed on the channel before. And once again, it's in the Bling's Carbon Fiber Effect Slim TPU case, which I've unpacked on the channel before as well. And let's go into the phone and plug, of course, the Type-C end, given that this smartphone does have a Type-C USB connector. So plug the Type-C end of the Fancysweety OTG microSD card reader. And there you can see the USB card reader light up there using its Type-C connector. And let's pop. What I have here is a SanDisk UltraFit 32GB USB 3.0 flash drive here. And just giving you a look once we can achieve focus right there. So this is a SanDisk UltraFit 32GB USB 3.0 flash drive. Right there, so compact flash drive. And this one happens to have a 32GB capacity. Okay, so what we're going to do is plug it in to the Fancysweety OTG microSD card reader into the USB port N and see if we can access the flash drive. So making sure that it's in the right orientation, just giving you a look right there and being very careful not to and just reinserting it, and you can see that the file commander prompt has come up, and just giving you a look right there, how it appears. Connected to the Sony Xperia XZ3 Android smartphone. So it's asking File Commander, open File Commander to handle UltraFit. Let's tap on OK. And let's just tap away from there. And you can see the 32GB SanDisk UltraFit drive is showing. Let's tap on that. And let's see what we can find on there. Let's go back and tapped on the wrong drive. So there we go, grant file commander access and just allow, and there we go. So we're now looking in the USB 3.0 UltraFit drive, and let's just tap on the folders and tap on the files there.
Hello everybody.
And you can see that's one of the videos that I produced very recently, and it's on the SanDisk 32GB UltraFit flash drive, which is connected right there, and it's playing nicely right there, no issues. And let's get out, and now let's try the micro SD card function. Okay, so let's disconnect it by simply unplugging it. Don't think we need to, just be very careful here not to dislodge the Fancysweety drive, but shouldn't be too much of an issue anyway if it does disconnect. Okay, so reinserting and making sure that connection stays, because there's the case in the way, so I think it doesn't have that good a connection, but nonetheless it's just fine as it is. Can always remove the case if we require a better connection. So over here I have a SanDisk SanDisk SD card adapter, and let's pull out the micro SD card that's inserted into it, and right there, so giving you a look at the adapter as well as the micro SD card, the SanDisk Extreme 64GB micro SDXC card right there. Okay, so just setting the adapter down to the side, and let's try the micro SD card slot. So just giving you a look once again. So as you can see right there, the micro SD card slot right next to the USB port right there. Okay, so let's slot the micro SD card into the slot. Just giving you a look how it appears right there. And it does slot in, and you can hear the chime or notification on the Sony Xperia XZ3 Android smartphone, and File Commander has detected that a memory card has been inserted. Okay, so you can see that the micro SD card has been detected. It is the Nikon D3300. Let's allow access, and right there we can access the files. Let's tap on that folder and see if we can get in there, and right there you can now see the files on the micro SDXC memory card. And just like that, we're accessing the files on the micro SDXC memory card via the Fancysweety OTG micro SD card reader. So very, very easy to use. And just like that, we're accessing the various pictures on the memory card. And obviously you can see there is a slight delay, but nonetheless these pictures are several megabytes big. So obviously I've skipped a few pictures, but nonetheless just giving you an idea in terms of the accessing speed. Of this Fancysweety OTG micro SD card reader. And once again, giving you an around look. Right there. And of course this, the extension for the micro USB end extended. So we can actually retract that. And just like that, we've accessed all the pictures. And of course I've nudged it off and you can see that the LED, the blue LED status indicator light has gone off. And let's reconnect it and tapping OK. And we're back accessing the folder once again, or at least the micro SD card, just like that. So that's the Fancysweety OTG micro SD card reader. Thanks for watching and happy accessing!